And welcome back, Socialist gamers. Thank you for joining us on our continued playthrough of Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic. Our oil refinery has been built, and we are successfully generating fuel. So I think this is a good time to introduce the concept of the distribution office. Now, this particular entity was recently added and has been a godsend for helping with management. I think we can go ahead and build it next to our construction center. This is basically an automated way of making sure that you have all of the resources dynamically distributed, instead of having to set up individual trading routes one by one, as we did with our oil export pipeline. It's in an odd place, so I'm just trying to find where it's located. I believe it's in Citizen Equipment. No. Yeah, that's the only criticism I have is sometimes hard to find because it's in a very odd area. Okay, it's in storage and warehouses. So we have two distribution offices, a medium one and a small one. I think we can go ahead and build a large one. So the medium one. And this is what it looks like. I think what we can do is extend this road, place our distribution office. There we go. Make sure it's straight, or per usual, as straight as it will be. Yep. And extend this further. Put that back and delete. Excellent. So now we can just buy this, and then I will explain how it works. And again, given the fact that I'm not playing the usual stock music that comes with the game, in case you're curious, this is the same playlist we've had in other playthroughs, and the information is in the description below this video. So this is almost finished. You can see initially that it looks quite similar to our vehicle depot, and that's where we simply buy all of our ground-based vehicles and send them out for essentially export or import routes or distribution routes, as we did with our oil truck. That's not the oil truck. So the oil truck here, which comes, takes and loads 100% of oil and then takes it to the custom house to sell it over here. So the distribution center actually is smarter than that system, so we can go over it. So you can see you need vehicles, and so what I will plan to do with this is distribute fuel that we are now making. So I'll buy another oil tanker. I think we can start with just one. And then you have the sub-menu here. And this allows you to add buildings and specify conditions for when you want to make, when you want to perform some tasks. And so, to walk you through this particular example, we will add our newly created storage tank for fuel, which is this one, since it's closer to the main road. And then I can say, I can specify a condition for when this truck will go out and load fuel. And so this is a bit different than telling it how much to load. This basically means, and the helper tool actually states this. It says then when a building storage is filled to a percentage, to this percentage or higher, that's when you would send a vehicle out. And so we can say that if we have more than 10% of storage, our storage is 1,500 tons, so if we have more than 150 tons of fuel, at that point, we will send out a truck to load fuel. we can then add our gas station. So we'll take this one since it's closest. And again, I can state that the second condition for this truck is to determine when to fill this gas station. So in this case, if the building storage is less than whatever I select here, then it will unload the... And so, again, if we look at this gas station, it's a total of 70 tons, so we can say that we want to make sure it's half full at all times. And so this truck will have to fulfill two conditions before it will actually go out on its journey. It has to have enough storage fuel that I specify in the storage tank, the origin, and they also has to be room for this fuel in my gas station. If I specify 0 here, then it'll basically be working all the time, and if I specify 100%, then I will have to wait until I literally cannot produce any more fuel before this is active. I think for now 10% would be a fair game. And so what I want to do is not just include this gas station, but essentially have a network that monitors all my fuel stations and refuels them on demand. And obviously the fuel stations which have more use will get refueled faster. But this is really a nice feature because I don't have to have a truck constantly going back and forth and essentially wasting fuel, and taking trips that might not otherwise have to take. I believe we only have we have 3 gas stations. So we have this one, and then we have another one here. So it automatically specified the same condition, which I think is fine. And this will also allow us to stop paying for gas. Since we're making our own, that was our goal, is to become energy sufficient. And I wonder what's going on here. Building is without power supply. Okay, so we'll have to come back to that. So that's not working, and we're getting a bottleneck of tractors, so our fields are not getting plowed. That's not good. However, we do have fuel here, so I'm fine with cutting off the imports. So yes, we should have... Go to our list of vehicles and buildings. We can see how many gas stations we have. All map. Yeah, so we have 3 gas stations. And actually 2 of them are without power, so we'll have to address that. But getting back to the distribution center, so again, this is a really nice system, because if I were to try to do the same strategy with the vehicle depot and I would buy an oil tanker, I only have 2 options. I could just have the truck go back and forth, load up to its max, and then unload whatever it can, and keep going back and forth without a pause, or I could specify that the truck, if we click on this truck exporting oil, the only other thing I can say is whether or not it should wait until it's loaded or unloaded. This only works if I have 2 particular buildings. So for instance, this is not something that I would be able to do in terms of these 3 gas stations, because while the truck is waiting to be completely empty at one gas station, if a second or third gas station is empty, it's not going to move and redistribute resources. So it would essentially require me to have 3 trucks servicing each of these independently otherwise, and you would likely not prevent additional trips, wasting gas and time. So really, this distribution center is awesome. It's one of the best things that has occurred in this game in the last several months. And again, you can have a global system where you say that all of your source buildings have to be at above a certain percentage, or if I say added other things like crop buildings and I redistributed crops, I can then select these independently. But again, this will realize our goal of being able to support and produce all of our own fuel, and we'll be able to stop paying for it in dollars, which if you look at the ledger, has actually been our biggest expense. Well, not in this month. If you look at our last month, fuel has been our almost tied with power, so close to first expense. Alright, so I believe that this should be able... Oh, so it's not going because we don't have 10% yet, so that's... We want to make sure we create a buffer. I generally do not put this at 0 because then, but I actually don't know if the vehicle will wait to be completely loaded or it'll take whatever's in the building when it comes and then head off without waiting to be fully loaded. The only difference between the small and the medium distribution offices are number of vehicles it can support and the number of buildings you can include. And so obviously this office handles more. Now let's see if our school... Yes, so this has been a long-standing issue. There have not been enough teachers, but I think this finally got solved with us importing a couple more experts from the Soviet bloc. And then let's go ahead and power our gas stations, since that's definitely something we want to rectify. So we have a transformer here, so I'm just gonna put a line down here for the gas station. That's really so this one's powered. Not sure why I was saying it wasn't. So we just need to put a transformer over here, a substation. Let's see. Here we go. So we'll probably just put this like that. And create our medium. So we have to drag it. We can probably drag it from this one. And over here. Yep. And just go down along our farmland. Alright. So we'll pay for that. We'll pay for the road. And we'll pay for the substation. So this should work. Since I was not... So I wish that the game would tell you when something like this happened. As you can see, we didn't find out about this until we clicked on our list of buildings and it revealed a problem. But now we can see all our tractors are heading out, so that should be fixed. We are still we did plow these 3 fields on each side, so we are growing, but we have not been sowing any other fields, which is definitely not good. This office is working fine, and we can see that we're sewing. Let's make sure. I believe that this has... Yes, so this is working. So let me see to make sure. So looks like we're out of... We don't have electricity in 2 other places. Now, these have electricity, so I'm not sure why it's saying this. So this... Okay, so this is not built. Yeah, so that's fine. None of these are built, so I'm not surprised they don't have electricity. Alright, so that's fine. We can see that this road, which was previously being built, is almost finished. We just need just a tiny bit of gravel and 3 work days, and then this will be finished. And then I think we're currently working on some of these other roads, which is what those, so all of those are assigned to our construction office and sold done for free. So we can see that we have gravel heading up to our construction zone. Good. So we do have sufficient gravel. We have 260 tons, and it looks like there's additional loading by trucks going to the construction. So we'll leave them be. And then, you know, we do have now we have 6 pumps extracting oil and transferring them to our oil storage. And we're still filling up our oil refinery. And we can see we have both bitumen, which is needed for asphalt production, and fuel being accumulated. So we're on our way. So we're still not Yeah, so by doing this, we do have fuel, which was a significant expense, but we're really not able to produce. Yeah, we're not really keeping up with our oil consumption, even for this oil refinery, and it just has one worker. So that's going to be an issue. And we're also do not have. Oh, actually, so this is being loaded. So let's see once it leaves. I just want to make sure that we are able to produce an excess of oil, so we have it for the future. So this is something you have to watch out for. So this guy's being filled up. So now that he's leaving, we can see what's going on with our refinery. So this is accumulating really slowly, so we only have one worker though. And this is not really building up significantly. So probably gonna have to do at least another 3 of these, just so we can keep up with this. And again, it mostly has to do with the fact that we have just such low quality. Normally, I mean, this would be more than sufficient to both keep up with oil production, with oil refining, and with getting a surplus for export. So let's take another look at how feasible that project would be in this area. So there's one that's not really great. You can see that there's red, and so up here's one. So there's pretty much one. So that could be another one. So we could put another 3. Let's see. So we have this is 1 input and 3 outputs. So we would have to change this because we don't. This is also a 3 inputs and 1 output. So we actually don't have a pump that takes in additional inputs. That's not the end of the world. Yeah, we're probably gonna have to do that just because we're not keeping up with oil, and we will need oil for our industries down the line, including chemical production. So let's plan on one more, and I think that'll basically max out this area. If we want more oil, we'll have to come to other areas. So if we don't want any red, we do something like here. Again, I really want to try to maximize this production without any red areas, or as few as possible. So I know that there was an area here that would work. This one. So yeah, so this is there's some stuff here, but probably this one has kind of the biggest area. No, this one, yeah, this one is the biggest area with kind of the smallest amount of red. Alright, so now we'll have to have an additional system. So we'll have to figure out how to change our network around. So we'll put roads down. And one more here. so I could, because this one, let's see if, this pipe would be long enough. So do this. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to, yeah, too long, so we won't be able to hook this up to here. Alright, so if we put, so we'll, let's see if, so we should be able to put these three into a separate pipe and then reroute this one and this one, probably this one to this pumping station. And so we should be able to reroute all three of these to this pumping station. I just want to see if I can, I just don't want to, I want to minimize building any new pumping stations. If we have one, so I'm sorry, so we have 1, 2, 3, and this one go to that one, and this one go to another one. I think that would be the goal. So again, 3 inputs. So you can see this will be sufficient. Again, we'll work backwards. So raise this, go over the road, go down. Alright, that's just enough. And then this guy should be able to reach. So we'll actually have to change this around since connect that one, and hopefully this one will work as well. Yes, and then this one should come. Yes, okay, so we have this new one. We'll feed these three, and then we have connections for this. We'll have to change them a little bit. 1, 2, 3 will come here, so then we'll have to change, get rid of that. Change this one to here. And then I'm hoping that this will, so that's too long. Let's see if maybe that's just because we, let's go backward. Well, just try to, so it is too long. Well, I think at this point, this part's not that long, so we can try to reposition it. Again, if I knew how unproductive these oil fields were, I would have planned this a little bit better from the start. But you know, hindsight is 20/20. There was you know, it would have been nice if the game actually told me, hey, this is what's going to be your production, and so you could plan for it. But you know, live and learn. So let's see if we put it here. Will this be still too long? Yeah, and I think I remarked on this before. It would be nice if it would have a radius, so it would show where the limit of the pipes are. That would save a lot of some of this trial and error, but you know, that's not what we have just yet. So I think we've salvaged this. So we have all of these connected, all of these are connected, and so we just need to connect these other ones, which I'm hoping will work. But I actually am, so it's, oh, yeah, so that's literally just barely made it. I'm sure that another couple of feet and it would have told us we could not do that. Oh, we're actually not in the woods just yet, because we, so, Yeah, that's not, we're not in wood. We're not out of the woods just yet, so let's see. Yeah, so this is too long. So that's fine. I think we can, it's not gonna look good, but we're able to do that. It's not ideal, but I really don't want to move this pipe. And this one should not have an issue with going around and over ground level. Alright, so again, not pretty. This certainly is odd, but I really don't have to pay for moving this as well. So I think, so this feeds into our current pipe, this feeds into our current pipe. So I think we will need to change this one to an input type. So this one. So yeah, one input, 3 inputs and 1 output. So we'll have to change that. We'll have to make sure that we'll be able to put a road down. So it's under pipe. So I've put this like that. Yeah, that should be fine. We'll extend this, put that like that, delete this little tail. Good. Now we'll have to finish our pipes. So now we have a road, so we'll go over the road. Alright. This is just a fire access road. And then, yeah, this will not reach here, so we'll have another interim pipe pumping. So yeah, see, let's see, I doubt that we'll be able to, yeah, so it says too long, so we'll have to put down yet another pumping station. So this one can be our 1 input, 3 outputs. So if we put this here, we then have to just finish this. So we'll put this over the road and over, and then put down to ground level. Looks like it doesn't like them being really close together, so let's see. Yeah, it really doesn't like being together. So let's see if this curve is the problem. Yeah. Alright. These 3 are coalescing into this one, it's sending it here, and sending it to here. And then this guy takes 3 of these and sends it over, and then this guy takes 3 of these. Good. And the only question is, will we need to change our power? Hopefully not, but we can double check. So let's finish our pipe construction. Pay for these pumps. Pay for all of these pumps and roads. This is our new pumping station. New rig. New rig. Rig. And this guy as well. So I really don't want to have to spend any more money, since now we're getting down to less than 7 million. And this is close to being done. Alright, so the only question is, does this have power? Yes. Does this have power? Yes. Does this have power? Yes. This guy does not have power, so probably just put down another transformer. How is this getting power? It's getting power from this one. Yeah, I don't want to overload that transformer, so we'll do another split. so high voltage split. Perfect. Connect that. Connect the high voltage lines. Put down another power transformer. So something like that. And create a substation. That'd be nice, yeah, so power vehicle depot just nice. And then we can put this down here. Then the other thing we need is a road in case there's a fire. So yeah, that should do it. So then we just need to finalize these switches and the substation. And that, so getting quite busy. So this guy is 30% efficiency, this guy's 32%, that guy's 33%. So they're all kind of the same. They are sending their oil since they reach 0.5 and then they go down. So yes, they're all sending their oil. This is one of our new ones. That one's 30% efficiency. Again, sending oil. Sending oil here, yep. This guy's an old guy. This one's also old. This one's sending oil. It's working. I think it's sending oil. This is a new one. That's not sending oil, so we have to power that as well. I'm trying to figure out if this one's sending oil. So let's put down... We do have another transformer here, so we can put a substation up. We'll just put it up here in case something else happens up there, although I doubt. I don't have any immediate plans to act on that, but so they just want a different angle. Perfect. So then we finish these. Yep, there he goes. There's our oil rig. 28% efficiency, so really not great. Now, I don't know if this one is sending... Seems stuck at 0.45 for some reason. That's not clear to me why. It's working. This is our oil tank. So we are slowly accumulating oil. However, we are also only have one worker in our refinery. Let's check the other ones. So we can see by the lights. I apologize, it's really dark, but you can see by the lights where the rigs are. So this one's they're really not. Oh, I think I know what's going on. I think because this is accumulating, I'm not going to see any oil accumulation in these other ones. I think that's what's going on. Yeah, in fact, you see it's definitely being constantly drained by my refinery, so these are the other refineries. So we'll just have to double check that everything is working. These guys go to 0.5 and then they go down. I'm not sure why these guys over here. This So these are 3 inputs and 1 output. They have voltage. Oh, these guys have wattage, and they are producing oil. Just want to make sure that they are producing. I mean, we are do have quite a bit of fuel and bitumen now. We are almost maxed out on our oil import storage at the refinery. I wonder why these guys are different. Yeah, so this guy's, So this guy's transporting oil. Oh, yeah, so that means these other guys, because this guy's in the middle of this and this, so that means that this guy is transporting oil. Again, if you don't have oil transport, and these guys were working with energy, you would see that they have, they would keep building up their internal storage. So again, the system is not perfect. I think it would help if the developers were to update this, but yeah, we're definitely making oil. And so we are outputting. Oh, and then it looks like we're also filling up our export vehicles, so... Alright, so we'll come back to this, but we are making our own fuel, and hopefully delivering it to our gas stations. Oh, I think it's still waiting to be 10% worth. Let me make sure, yeah, we have fuel. Let me cancel, looks like we still have imports. No import here, 9 tons. 12 tons, no import, okay. So crop-wise, we're growing. And over here, we're 70% finished with growing our harvest in the 3 fields, and we had a delay with this gas station not having power, but now that's fixed. And let's take a look at our school. So it still keeps having issues. Alright, these teachers are... let me see if I increase the number of staff. I'm concerned that the education is not as robust as it should be. We do have 27 educated people, so we have more than enough. So we have 4 teachers and 3 shifts. So each shift is 8 hours. We do have plenty of university educated employees. Good news is our happiness is pretty high. So is our food satiety. They're pretty healthy, which is nice considering we don't have a hospital. So I think we can... they're complaining they don't have a job. So they're waiting for the bus. Okay. Where is our refinery bus? Oh, there it is. It just dropped off our workers. So yeah, we now have 19 workers at our refinery, and they're making fuel and bitumen. And let's see. Oh, and then we're actually accumulating a little bit of oil, so we're doing good. Keeping up with our demand, and we have enough to export. Perfect. Alright, so I think this whole area was a success, F1. So yeah, we'll just leave it at B. And we have our gravel industry, and we have our sizable farm industry, which I hopefully will not expand anymore. You can see our farms are being plowed and sowed. And so, yeah, we're on our way. We are on our way. Now, let's see here. So we'll have to see how things are progressing. We still don't have crops, but we should have imminently. Let's see if our fire station has people in it. Our grocery store is doing well with no people outside the shop. And our kindergarten is not over capacity. Perfect. So, I'm quite happy with this. I think we're doing really well. So, I'm still hesitant to finalize our train network. That's a very large expense, and so I really prefer to wait until we have a sizable number of crops and food and alcohol. Then that'll give me more flexibility, and then I'll have a reason to create the train because I'll use it to supply our shopping center with food and alcohol for our pub, and then I can export the rest. So I don't really want to take on a bunch of debt and have a train running for the sake of just going to and fro without making money. Speaking of making money, we've kind of started up here in the northeast corner. So I don't think we cannot export, right, both of our borders are Western countries. So we are as far as we can get from a Soviet country, either Soviet country. So I don't think it'll be a while before we are able to have links to make rubles. So, the other big things to consider are coal and iron. So I'm wondering if it's worthwhile to try to plan for that. I'm just going to pause this game. So we can see that this valley over here is surrounded by both coal and iron. It's a little bit tight, so you would enter it through here. So, south of our refinery. And then it's this region over here. It's a little bit cramped. However, we have coal to the south of us and iron in these hills. The other option looks to be this river region, but this is really mountainous, so I think this is pretty much out of question. I mean, the only way this would work is if we put our industry processing over here and just have our mines with conveyor belts taking our resources out, but I would need to find a way to supply the mines with workers, since they actually need quite a few workers. Although there is a custom house here. It does have a rail connection. Or a custom house up by the refinery area? No, so that's literally the only custom house in this whole region. So, and that would give us a way to make rubles. So we've already spent about almost 40% of our starting money. This would potentially also give us the ability to try out the cable car, since I haven't seen how that works. Alright, let's do it. I'm up to try something new. So, let's see how this would work. So we would basically plan on creating a town. This would be a nice area for a town. and then processing facilities over here, and then kind of 2 sets of mines to mine coal and iron. And then we'll eventually have a rail link connecting them to our main town, and to distribute crops and fuel. And then we can eventually put the rail down here, and then come in through this plane to this custom house. So that's actually not a bad idea. And yeah, this would be more useful since down here, if this is my other custom house, large custom house is down here in the south. But I don't have coal and iron accessible in one area. This area is super mountainous, so that's a worse area. And this area is all mountains with a lake in between. So this is also this is not as ideal. So let's just explore to see if I were to build a mining area here, do I have a lot of productivity? So this is the iron area. I'm sorry, coal. Oh! This area here has both coal and iron, according to the map. Okay, so this might work. If I were to do iron, let's see how much we would be able to get from here. Not really productive. I'm already past the area, so where is my iron deposit? So you can see most of the stuff is, this is pretty terrible. I mean, it's barely orange, and there's like a little small sliver of it, so this deposit does not really work for us. There appears to be a large collection up here. I think, for those considering using this map, it's definitely much more challenging. I haven't seen a single resource that's yellow, let alone green. So this just means, you know, it takes more people and more effort and more mines to obtain the same amount of resources. Yeah, not really happy with this. How about coal? Is the coal deposit worth anything? Let's try coal. So the coal is likewise very scattered and not super concentrated, and so the efficiency is going to be low on that as well. So this is an interesting playthrough. Alright, let's just take a step back and see where the richest deposits are. So all of these are pretty equivalent. Let's see about this. I mean, this is really mountainous. And again, it's very small amounts here and there. I think we have no choice but cable cars. There's actually some green. The first green we've seen. Yeah, I think this was the iron area over here. So certainly going to be challenging, but that's the first green I'm seeing this whole game so far. The iron is, definitely not as good. Let's see if this iron works out. bunch of orange, borderline yellow. Question is, do we have any green for iron? Doesn't look like we do, but I think it's down here. Trying to see a bunch of orange. More orange. Who knew that building a self-sufficient Soviet Republic was this much work, huh? Yeah, this is really, not ideal. And this deposit is really far away. So, just trying to think of how we would go about this. So, I mean, we could create a little road here and then basically have cable cars. I don't know if a cable car can go over a lake. I'm hoping it can. You can always build a bridge in a little area there and then send the cable car over. Let's see. Well, so we do have some areas, several areas of green. Yeah, the only issue is getting our workers into the mines because, unlike the oil pumps and the farms, you absolutely have to have workers, and quite a few workers, generally like 40-50 people to have a sizable production, especially with this being such a low productive area. And then we still have to think of, well, how do we get a road in to make sure that we have fire protection. So I'm thinking we'll have to have two separate ones. Just to get enough coal. Now let's see if we can even get a road through here. Okay, so it's not as bad as it could have been. Looks like we do have fairly straight shots. Alright, and then... Okay, so it's not bad. So we are able to create like a little area industry, and then well, let's just finish with the coal thought. So if I want to do the conveyor belt, as far as I'm concerned, is the most efficient way of transit. So let's see what we could do with that. So if I put that here, so it keeps giving me this warning since I'm far away from my construction office. I can't get free terraforming, which is fine. It's fine. So we can see if we place this here, there's only one area where it'll allow me to have a connection. So then what I can do is see, can I follow this road along and put down a downstream... Alright, so then we'll be able to put one there. Alright. And then we'll be able to put one there. And then, so I can probably... Questions, I'll probably have to, so what I'll... Let's see. Let's see if I can change this road so that I don't have dueling conveyor belts. So if I carry this road to the north, all right. And then what I'll do is in terms of my conveyor belts. So yes, good. I can. Yeah. So this is my one. So we can just keep this along the northern edge. Alright. Or you just want to make sure that the conveyor belt is as efficient as possible. Alright. Alright, and this is finally our flat area. I don't know if this will work, but let's, again, it's a little bit of a finicky placement, but if I place it there, we can put that down here. Alright, and this row, this area is finally becoming less hilly. So that's one of the longest, I mean it works, but that's one of the longest conveyor belt chains I've placed. So that's coal mine number 1. So coal mine number 2, is harder. So let me do this. I'm going to turn this around since it doesn't really matter to me which way that faces. So that way my second conveyor belt will not interfere. Actually, if we put this, alright, that's fine. So there, road come here. Now, this should be, perfect. Now you can cross roads with these, but it's really difficult because you can see if I zoom in, these conveyor transfer belts connect up high and then the output's really down low. And so when you start to connect it over a road, you have to make sure that the road's able to pass under these struts. So it's actually quite finicky to put it over a road. But, oh, that worked. Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm liking this. Okay, I'll take that. That's perfect. It's actually super long. Let's see how... perfect. Alright, so I like that. We should be able to just follow this along. Oh wow, it's even better than the other one. Yep. And again, there's a limit, so you can see that it can only be so long before it refuses to give you a connection. But that's actually fantastic. So that's my fire access road. Now these can catch on fire as well. That's why you have to make sure that they have an access road, since you don't really want to lose these. Unfortunately, everything in this game can catch on fire, as we find out. Now I think, knock on wood, we haven't had too many issues, but, you know, we certainly will. There's no way we're not gonna have any. There's no way we're gonna not have fires. And again, I'm not really looking for any cosmetic. I'm not looking for it to look nice. Alright, so that actually was not as bad, but you can see, just appreciate how long these conveyor belt networks are. So that's pretty cool. And this is super mountainous terrain. So that would be our source of coal. Let's plan out our source of iron, which was, I believe, over the lake. So again, we would go into our iron mine, and then figure out what we could do. So a lot of this is, you know, the iron and coal don't have to be in the same vicinity. It's just nice because you need both for your steel mine, and the steel mine uses a lot of both resources, and it just becomes really difficult to logistically transfer and keep up with the resources to feed the steel mine. So, you know, there's other stuff that you need coal for, and those are easier to supply by train. You can't really do it by truck, but train's fine, but the steel mine is really a bit of a monster. So yeah, so let's see here. So we do. I am happy that we have our coal supply is quite a bit better. Our iron supply is pretty poor, but it looks like it's pretty poor everywhere. It's a bit disappointing. So this area does not look horrible. And again, I wish I did have a conveyor office. I'm sorry, construction office, but it's about 1,000 rubles to level this, so it's not terrible. And that's mainly because our iron mines are actually quite small. So there's that area. I'll take that. Well, we'll do 2 for now, and then we'll probably have to put a 3rd one in, but, you know, let's see what happens with just 2 of these. I'm not going to build steel just yet, so, yeah, we'll just have to deal with, see how this goes. Now, these are long distances, but I think we can put a bus together, so I think I'll probably have to bore a tunnel through this mountain and have a bus. So if my little town will be over here, it will be able to supply workers over here and over to here, so I kind of want it in the middle. So, let's see if we can connect our 2 sources of mining. So yeah, so let's flatten these. Alright, so that works. And again, I'm just not paying for it because I want to lay this out first. Alright, so and then I don't know if we can. Yeah, that would be difficult. This is way too steep. Alright, but we can do this to start, so that's a starting point. I think so. Something here, maybe. This seems to be the way to go. And again, this is one of those annoying issues with this game. You can see that I can build really short segments, but it won't let me build a longer segment. So it will let me do it here, but not up. That's actually not bad. So I can go all the way down and descend here. Why it won't... they really do need to fix this. You know, I don't care if it's the same exact routing. Just give me a suggestion, but that would help a lot with... Alright. So it's still telling me too steep. Perfect. Alright, so that's not terrible. Where is our coal? So our coal's right there. So let's see if we'll be able to put a mine through. If I go out like that, we could see... I'm sorry, we could see if we could put in a road tunnel, which would be... I think this would be extremely expensive. But yeah, we could do it, which is actually pretty cool. Now I'm wondering... Well, let's finish this thought here. And I'm wondering where I should have my processing equipment. I think we have no choice but to put it here, because I don't think our processing equipment can... I don't think those conveyor belts can go over water. If we put one here... Yeah, I don't think this thing can... so if we put... So if this is like the narrow point. If I put this here, can it... Yeah, I don't think it can go over water. No. Yeah, so we'd have no choice. I mean, we have to go all the way around, which is crazy. Alright, so... If I put you like that, then I would create a bridge. So we can do a steel bridge. Go, let's see, I want it straight, so... I mean, I can tell you now this is not going to be cheap, but I'm actually pleased that we're able to do this at all. Hill causing obstruction. Alright, so we have to reroute this a little bit. That's fine, that's fine. So how about we do it here? That's great. And... Yep. Yep. Alright, that's actually pretty nice. So yeah, let's see what the last, well, let's create our conveyor belt. So this will be conveyor belt number 1, for our first iron mine. Let's see, so we can now go... I think this terrain is, yeah, this terrain is hilly, so, it can only descend, conveyor belts can only have a change in height between 2 units, before they'll essentially tell you, nope, not doing that. So that's pretty good, actually. So that over here. Oh, I know it was right here somewhere. You can see how finicky the game comes with placement. Come on, I know you were fine with this a minute ago. Alright, let's just try to flatten this a little bit more. Come on. There. Alright, so this can go here. So again, you're gonna have to cajole it to do what you want. Alright. We're just gonna feed this conveyor belt down. Can it build it? No, I have to. That's fine, that's fine. That's cool. I can deal with this. Alright. Oh, perfect. Oh, that's real nice. Oh, I love that. That's, Alright, and then we'll put one down. Well, we'll leave that down there. Then our other mine is up here, so I wonder what we can do in terms of, this guy here. This might be one where, yeah, it doesn't like that road. Oh, wow, that's fantastic. I'll take that. Oh, that's phenomenal. Hi, that was more than I could bargain for. That was, yeah, that was fantastic. Let's see if we can just cajole this. I don't want that, but I could, yeah, I can just coax it to that. Now, we should be able to have... Oh, see, it's still, so, yeah, so because it needs to go between the road needs to go between these support beams, you wanna basically have it, go to the conveyor, build the conveyor, or check, at least, put the plans for a conveyor belt first, and then follow it up with the road. And this is a perfect example of why, we want to plan everything out before we actually pay any money to construct stuff. This stuff is not cheap. Oops, nope, that didn't work. So it wouldn't create the connection. No. Alright, so now it's still, Alright, so we're getting that. Alright, so now, just want to make sure, well, I'm fine with this, yeah, I don't need it to yeah, that's fine. I don't need it to connect at every possible intersection, but I do need it to connect over here, so I don't know, this doesn't seem happy. But that's fine. We can just have it go... Well, we could just have it go around, I think. That's fine, yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Just, we can have it go. I don't need it to do anything. I really don't have a preference there. Okay. So then that would be our 2 iron conveyor belts. We do have a bridge and a tunnel, so we could have a little centralized location for our workers. So this would basically be our mining town, and the only other thing we have to think about is how can we have our processing facilities be close to one another? Yeah, they can't go over water. I don't even go over water at all. I don't know. Let me check, because I have not done this before with rivers. Let me see. So they can actually go over rivers. Let me try one more time. I think this is just way too long, but let's see if this would work. So if we have one over here, would you be connecting? No. How about if I put you on the very edge? So we really kind of want to see. So you're on the very edge of the river, on the lake. No. Just will not take. Definitely this would be way too wide. We haven't paid for any of these yet, so I'm still just checking these out to see what we could do. I'll just create a bunch of them to see what works. Since honestly, I don't know what works. I haven't had to do this before. No, it just refuses to but out here. Yeah, it refuses to do any of this stuff, and yeah, so I don't think. Oh, that actually makes sense. That does make sense, because even across that river when we built it, it has to have a place to put these support beams. So that actually makes sense. There's not enough. If it can't put support beams, there's nothing supporting the conveyor belt. I mean, we could go all the way around here, but that would just be a nightmare. Yeah, I think I would rather, so what we can do is we can have a separate area for coal processing and a separate area for iron processing, which I think will have to be over here. This is the only flat area. I mean, we could have it out here, but it would be way too long to get our workers over. And then, once we have an aggregate collection of iron and coal that's finished, we can actually put down a system of more conveyor belts and have our steel mill somewhere down here, and then we'll just transfer it down. So I think that's what we'll have to go with, since I don't see any other way of doing this. So I think that will work for us. We did run a little bit long with our video, so I apologize. I think I will leave this in plan form, and then when we come back, we'll finalize all of this construction, start settling in people in our mining town, give it a name. So we're just going to go ahead and call this Shachta, which is actually Shakhtorsk, which is the Russian name for mine. So that would easily identify our town as being a mining town, and then we can leave these alone. Well, let's see. So this is, I believe this is coal. Yeah, so we'll call this Ugol 1, Ugol 2. So that makes sense. So this is our mining town, Shakhtorsk, and then Ugol 1 and Ugol 2 are coal 1 and coal 2. And this is just one thing, so this would be iron. That would be Żelezo. We don't have to call it 1 since there's only 1. Alright, and then what we'll do is we'll finish these plans. We'll have to figure out a way to power all of this stuff. And we'll then have to put down a little bit of a town with enough workers and a grocery store to feed them, and then a bus system to transfer them all out here. So that would be actually quite a long project, but I think we're well on our way. And let's see if we have any crops yet. Nope, still growing. And I think what we can do is go ahead and finish construction of our coal mine, since I'm happy with these plans. And we can finish let's see. Actually, I like this more. So we'll construct our little coal mine. And we'll finish our episode with a nice view of this beautiful lake and our future planned mining town with the view of the iron mine right in front of us. Alright, that'll do it for this episode. Thank you again for joining. I hope that you will tune in for our next episode. And until then, до свидания.